Shout out to Tokyo Treat and Sakurako for sponsoring this video. Hello everyone, my name is Rebekah, and today I'm going to be working on some art commissions and sharing how I started taking art commissions. I'll talk about what platform I use, setup, and how I calculate pricing. This is a topic that many of you have been requesting that I talk about. I never really talked about it in the past because commission work wasn't something I was doing at the time. However, now that I am taking art commissions, I thought I would share how I got started. But before jumping into that, let me introduce the first commission piece I'll be working on. I was commissioned by Neon A Arts to draw their character Neon. Neon has ice and fire abilities. He's a pretty nice and friendly character. Neon wants to continue his parents' legacy and accomplish his goal of becoming the greatest well-known hero in human eye. So yeah, I'm starting by sketching out Neon. The commissioner wants me to draw him in a similar view as the reference picture you see here. Also, I'm drawing in Clip Studio Paint on my new iPad. The iPad Airs were on sale for Amazon Prime Day, so I decided to finally upgrade my iPad. And I have to say, I'm super happy with it so far. It has definitely helped me get work done since getting stuff done on my computer is hard to do with a baby. I kept being worried that if I upgraded my iPad, I wouldn't really use it and it would have been a waste of money, but I am definitely using it. So before we start talking about my art commission process, I want to answer a question I see a lot, and that is, at what point can I start taking art commissions? This can be a tough question to answer since some artists could be ready to take on commissions after only drawing for like a year, while for others it could be several. But here are my thoughts. If you're under 18, the process will be simpler if you wait until you are 18. Many payment platforms require that you be 18, and legal contracts with minors can be tricky, but of course you can always get help from a parent or guardian. Number 2, wait until you are consistent. You want to make sure your art style is consistent or that you are able to make art of a consistent art style so that clients can know what to expect. You want to be fairly consistent in how long it takes you to finish pieces so you can estimate how long they will take you to finish. And you also want to be consistent in making art that you are at least fairly happy with or approve of. Number 3, commissions aren't only about making art, it's also about working with clients. Working with and communicating with people that commission you is a skill set all on its own. So for your first commissions, it can be good to practice with people you know, like friends or family. My first ever commission was for a family friend, and I learned a ton from it. One of the things I learned is that I wasn't ready to do commission work yet. My art wasn't at a level where I could easily adjust my art to what the client wanted, so we had to do a ton of revisions. Thankfully, since the client was a family friend, they were very patient with me. So yeah, when it comes to when you can start taking art commissions, I say make sure there's some consistency in your art and that you're able to follow instructions and make adjustments. And also make sure to have knowledge on dealing with clients. Anyways, enough intro stuff, let's talk about how I currently take on drawing commissions. When I decided I wanted to start taking commissions again, the first thing I needed to do was decide on how I wanted to go about processing commission orders and accepting payments. Did I want to go through my website or a commissioning platform like VGen? After a lot of thought, I decided to go with Ko-fi. Ko-fi is kind of like Patreon. You can use it as a way for people to support your work and create a community, but you can also do things like set up a shop, and it even has tools for accepting commissions. I felt like going through Ko-fi for my commission work would be the most user-friendly for me. The only downside is that people who want to commission me do need a Ko-fi account, so there is a bit of barrier to entry. However, there are many times that people who support artists or buy art commissions already have a Ko-fi account, so it may attract that audience. I did also go with Ko-fi because of the shop option. Like, I recently used it to sell an adoptable. Also, Ko-fi is not sponsoring this video, but maybe they should be. Also, even though I am using Ko-fi to set up the commissions, the info and tips I'm going to give can still apply to other platforms or your own website if you want. So once I had a platform for taking commissions, I now needed to set them up. Ko-fi makes this pretty easy in the commission section. Just start by clicking the Add Listing button. You then name the listing and type up a description of what the buyer should expect. Now, something I did have to decide is what kind of commissions did I want to offer. A lot of time artists will offer a variety of commission options, like a headshot, upper torso, or full body. They may also offer things like multiple characters and backgrounds. For some reason in my head, when I would think of taking art commissions, I would always think I have to offer all of these things too, but I technically don't. So I started simple by taking on headshot sketch commissions. The reason I started with this is because I can pretty easily estimate how long it takes me to sketch a headshot. I also know that I can easily fit the amount of time I would need to dedicate to these commissions into my schedule. I don't want to accept commissions that I don't have time to finish. Like I wouldn't have time to do a full color, full body illustration. For the commissions in this video, they are full color illustrations because I knew that I'd be able to dedicate more time to them since they would be used as footage for a video. Many of you were also requesting full colored commissions, and I also gained a bit more confidence from the sketch commissions, so I decided to take on some full color ones. I feel like I went off on a tangent there, so back to the main point. For the description of the commission, I let the client know when they should expect the pieces to be done, I describe the art they should expect, and I also include example pictures. I say the size of the canvas I'll use, along with any other info I feel is needed. Next is the instructions to buyer section. Here I ask that the client tells me in which view they would like me to draw the character. I also go into things I will draw and things I won't draw. This is very important to communicate. You want to make sure to make it clear what you are and aren't comfortable with drawing. Now, we are going to go away from the listing page for a little bit because right now I want to mention the Your Terms section on the commission page. These terms will be presented to the client as they are about to purchase a commission. I use this section to communicate to the client things like the art is only for personal use, what happens if I'm unable to finish the commission, that they allow me to use the footage in live streams or videos, and so on. Typing up this part can be a bit daunting, but it's super important. Also, don't be afraid to look at other artists' commissions listings and terms. I use other artists as a guideline to help me with my commission listings. It was super good for helping me get a grasp on what terms and info I should include. Okay, now back to the listing page. The next section we have is price. And oh boy, this is not an easy one to cover. So before jumping into that, let's take a moment to look at the finished commission piece of Neon. I'm really happy with how it turned out and his expression. Neon A Arts was also super happy with the results, so I was glad. Thank you so much for commissioning me. When you're busy doing the artist hustle, it's important to take breaks. I often like to reward myself with a treat after getting a lot of art done, and treats from Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. are perfect for this. Experience Japan from the comfort of your own home through Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. snack boxes. Yes, these are both snack boxes, but each offer a unique experience. Tokyo Treat is a fun exclusive monthly snack box packed with Japan's coolest and craziest treats. Each month you'll get a rare Kit Kat flavor, limited edition chips, noodles, and the latest treats from Japan straight to you. Sakura Co. is a monthly Japanese artisan snack box that supports local makers across Japan. Each box is carefully curated with traditional and seasonal snacks like mochi, dorayaki, manju, and more, including signature Japanese teas and an exclusive homeware item. Sakura Co. delivers an authentic taste of Japan to your home. Each box includes a cultural booklet featuring snack descriptions, allergen information, and fun insights about Japanese culture. This month, Tokyo Treat's theme is Summer Matsuri Snack Fest. Tokyo Treat brings you a box packed with flavors inspired by Japan's most mouth-watering festival foods. Enjoy snacks like DIY candy apple, soy sauce corn puffs, strawberry cotton candy, and many more. The chocolate orange Kit Kats really interested me and were super yummy. I also loved the kakigori jellies. I totally recommend putting them in the freezer. This makes them extra yummy. Next we have Sakura Co. with the theme of Journey to Okinawa. This month traverse the islands of Okinawa where distinctive regional snacks and cultural treasures celebrate the warmth, spirit, and flavors of Japan's southern islands with snacks like mango jelly, kokuto cinnamon peanuts, and honey plum. All pair perfectly with the sunpin tea. This month's tableware are Bloom's handpicked ceramics. I got the Minami Kaze bowl, and it's so charming. For snacks, I loved the Okinawan sweet chinsuko. It has a crisp and delicate texture. The Okinawa baked chocolate was also super interesting. A fudgy texture infused with Okinawan salt. These boxes are always super fun. My siblings love to try all the different snacks together. If you want to check them out for yourself, you can use my code DRAWMANGA to get $5 off your first box. There are links in the description and pinned comment down below. Thank you so much again to Tokyo Tree and Sakura for sponsoring this video. Now I'm going to be working on the second commission piece. The commissioner is Shelby, and she wanted me to draw her character Elijah. He is 21 years old and loves to write love letters. Although he is happy with his work, he is too afraid of giving those letters to his long love. He also enjoys singing and dancing. So back to the previously mentioned topic of pricing. Pricing art commissions is very subjective, and you have to take many different things into account. There are people that think artists charge too much for their work, and people that think artists charge too little. And honestly, it's impossible to make everyone happy. It can take some experimenting, but you have to find pricing that feels worth it for you, but also works with a decent number of your potential clients. This is kind of an idea of supply and demand. You have to find the point where you and a good number of your clients are happy. Things I took into account when calculating my pricing are time, experience, and what payment amount feels worthwhile for me. If you're making traditional art commissions, you also want to factor in the cost of supplies and shipping, but mine are digital, so I don't have to factor those in. So for calculating time, I first estimate how long it would take me to finish a piece. For example, I know that it takes me 3 to 4 hours to finish a fully colored headshot. If you don't know how long it takes you to finish art pieces, maybe try drawing some pieces that are similar to what you think you'll be commissioned on. That way you can get an idea of how long it takes you. But I don't only factor in the time spent on art, I also factor in time spent communicating with clients. From my experience, I often spend close to an hour total communicating with one client on a commission. This includes reading their messages and typing up my messages. So in total, my estimate is that I will spend roughly 4 to 5 hours on one commission, and I'm going to round that number up to 5 to be on the conservative side. I don't want to cut myself short by rounding down. The second part of the pricing equation is experience. Because I have many years of experience, I feel like I can charge a little bit more for my work. The reason is that my experience with art offers a smoother commission experience for the commissioner. My style is consistent, so the client knows what to expect. I'm efficient and don't waste a lot of time reworking the piece. And I can follow instructions and execute them smoothly. Compared to my first handful of commissions, my current ones go much more smoothly because of my experience. My first couple of ones were kind of rocky. Also, for clarification, I took commissions in my early 20s, but I stopped taking them, and I only just recently started retaking them again. Anyways, the third factor is very subjective. What payment amount feels worthwhile for me? Money isn't everything, but when it comes to commissions, I do need to pick a price that feels like it's worth my time. I don't want to feel like I'm wasting my time. And if I pick a price that's too low, I may feel like that. Taking all of this into account, I tend to average anywhere from $16 to $20 per hour. To some that might seem too high, to others that might seem too low, but like I said, you can't please everyone and you have to do what you think is best. And for me, I have found that this pricing works well. I feel like the pricing is worth my time, but it also doesn't make the cost so high that I have no commissioners interested in my work. When it comes to pricing, I recommend at the very least paying yourself the minimum wage per hour. The current federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. Artists underselling their art is a problem all on its own, since it can have an effect on the whole supply and demand curve I mentioned earlier. If lots of artists are underselling themselves, it can make it harder for artists as a whole to charge a fair amount for their work. It's kind of a whole thing. Pricing your work can also take some trial and error. If you find that no one is commissioning you, you may need to lower your prices. However, if you find that your commissions sell out super quickly, it may mean you can up your prices. So let's head back to the Ko-fi listing page. After pricing, you can choose to have add-ons that cost an additional charge. For my sketch commissions, I offer colored accents for an extra $5. Under the additional options, you can leave a message to the commissioner after they check out. Here I encourage the commissioner to contact me through Ko-fi if they have any questions. You can also limit the amount of commission slots available. I often take on 2 commissions at a time, since this feels manageable to me. I don't want to overwhelm myself with too many commissions. I know some artists will take on enough commissions to last like a few months. and then they'll close their commissions and then reopen them after they finish that batch of commissions. I kind of do that, but just on a smaller scale. And lastly, you can choose who can request the commission. I set this to everyone since I do not do Ko-fi monthly supporters at the moment. And once that is ready to go, we can publish the listing. Yay! But of course, we can't just have the listings sit on the Ko-fi page. If we do that, it's very unlikely that people will see that we are accepting commissions, unless you have a ton of Ko-fi followers. So whenever I open commissions, I make sure to announce it on my other social media platforms to get the word out. So yeah, that's how I started taking commissions. Hopefully this information was a bit helpful. If you did come to this video just for information on commissions, feel free to click off now. But if you want to stay and hear me talk more about the art and also some life stuff, feel free to stay. I'd love to have you here. I received the product samples for the newest merch on my merch shop, and I'm so happy with how everything turned out. It's all so cute. I'll try to insert some pictures here. I'm really happy with all of it, especially the sticker sheet. It turned out so adorable. If you're interested in getting any of these, there's a link to my shop in the description. So for a life update, last week was really exhausting because we had to spend a couple of days in the hospital. I noticed that Mini Manga was doing a new kind of odd rapid eye movement. He did it a handful of times during the night, and so in the morning I decided to call the hospital to see if they thought he should come in to get checked out. The eye movement was concerning because Mini Manga is more prone to possibly get seizures, so the doctors and I were worried that this new eye movement could be a sign of seizures. And so I called the hospital and the doctors said that we should come into the ER, and they ended up having us stay for a few days because they needed to do testing on Mini Manga's brain to see if he was having seizures. Thankfully he was not, but we still don't totally know why he's doing the eye movement. So we are going to be seeing an eye doctor towards the end of the month. I was so tired after the hospital stay. I had slept like a total of 4 hours over a 48-hour period. Sleeping in a hospital is hard, but even more so when you have a baby that also doesn't really want to sleep. When we got home, all Mini Manga and I did was eat and sleep. Poor little guy was also super tired from the stay, and I could tell he was happy to be home. Thankfully, the rest of the week and this week has been pretty chill, and I was able to work on this video and the art commissions. Both of these commissions were a lot of fun to work on. I really like drawing the hair in both illustrations. I really like doing the colored bits for Neon's hair, and I really liked how spiky Elijah's hair was. They were different styles from what I usually draw, so they were fun to experiment with. When I sent this illustration to Shelby for review, she did point out that Elijah is supposed to have a more Roman-shaped nose. So I did go in with the liquefied tool to try to make him more Roman-shaped. It's a subtle change, but thankfully Shelby was happy with it. Thank you so much to Shelby and Neon A Arts for commissioning me. I really appreciate it, and I'm so glad that you both like how the pictures turned out. I had a lot of fun drawing Neon and Elijah. If you want to be one of the first people to know when I open my commissions again, you can follow me over on Ko-fi. Before we end, I want to thank my super awesome YouTube members and Patreon patrons for their support. It means so much to me. And thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!